no strangers to our home or yours, as far as that goes. They are the stars of the Hallmark Channel original series, When Calls the Heart. Please welcome back to our home, Aaron Krakow, Lori Loughlin, and Danielle Listing. Welcome, you guys.
Welcome back to
I said to Debbie,
I
know. I said to Debbie at the top of the show, I said, you've gone, we had Monday to process this all. I said, you're still going through it.
Yes.
My gosh. So
yes, we are too.
We are. I know. But that's what story. It's what this Hope Valley is all about. Is this?
Right.
So let me start with you, Lori. So looking back, let's talk about the season storyline. How did this come about? You're also an executive producer on the show. This is why I'm coming to you.
Thank you.
So one of them.
Yes, yes. Well, look. First of all, I want to say there's nothing but love here. We have, and we are crazy about each other, and we have a lot of respect for Dan, and we respect his decision to move on. We are actors. We have contracts. Sometimes contracts expire, and for whatever reason, you decide not to renew your contract. So we love Dan. Everyone should love Dan. We're supportive of Dan. That unfortunately left us with the really horrible decision of what do we do with Jack Thornton. And believe me, every scenario that has been floated on the internet this week, from recasting the role to sending him to the Northern Territories, we thought of it. But recasting the role, that came up. But then we thought, no, only Dan. Only Dan. We can't recast the role, and then send him to the Northern Territories. Well, now we would have a show of a woman sitting in a town waiting for her love to come back because, in fact, we don't have the actor anymore to have him, the character, come back. And then we also floated the idea of Jack just going to Elizabeth and saying Mountie Duty calls and before they ever got married and just breaking up with her. And then we thought, no, Jack Thornton would never do that. And the only way we came to the conclusion, our writers came to the conclusion that the only way he would ever leave her was in death. So I know that's so sad. We don't plan on killing any main characters anymore. That's not what the show is about. But so having said that, we knew we had a limited amount of time with Dan. So we genuinely, to all the fans, we tried to give you what you wanted.
But what an honorable way to...
But we tried, and so that's why we did the engagement, the wedding, and then we ended on the baby, because that is really symbolic of what we're going to be next season. Because we're a rebirth, we're starting over, we're bright, we're happy. Yes, we're not going to walk around mourning, we're going to talk about Jack, but hopefully Elizabeth will find love again eventually, because that's life. Sometimes tragedy strikes and you have to go on, and that's what the Hope Valley community is about, and that's what our Hardys are about. So we hope you understand. We were faced with a difficult decision, but truly nothing but love for all of us, for Dan, and for our fan base.
What a storyline. Wow, what a storyline.
Daniel, this is incredibly heartbreaking. I can only imagine for your cast, because you're all so close.
Yes, we are.
So we're all still reeling from your heroic death just from a few Sundays ago. What do you want the Hardys out there to know about your exit from the show?
Right, and firstly, the best fan base in television, and we talked about this a lot, and I have nothing but love for the Hardys. I have nothing but love for Hallmark. I have nothing but love for my beautiful sisters here. And but circumstances arose where I needed to leave the show, and for reasons that are personal to me. And I went to Hallmark, and they were nothing but respectful, honourable, and totally had my back. So they were there for me when I needed them. They were there for me when I needed them, and I'm there for Hallmark and for the girls.
And Dan's not going anywhere. Like, he's still going to be on Hallmark.
I'm
he's still
actually,
part of the
let me say this.
family.
I'm really excited to see what the future brings, and that includes Hallmark.
Sure. Well, we're excited for you too, because there's always a space on the couch for you.
Always. That's
in our lives.
Thank you.
With all that said, you guys got together because, boy, talk about some material for actors to work from.
This
I
one.
mean, right?
This one.
I mean,
Emmy.
We were actually at Lori's house last night, and she's like, if you don't win an award for this performance.
I know.
So
But with that said, what would it mean to you to all be together and come to Lori's house? That was important, yeah?
Well, we're friends. You know, we hang
First
out
and
anyway.
foremost, we are friends.
And this is such a. This was a hard episode to watch. There's a photo of us. You know, you can see we're not really smiling too hard here. This is
very happy, do we?
This was a very hard episode to watch, and I sat there, and I'm still like, reeling over it. But just watching the girls' performance last night when we sat there was just amazing performances.
And Dan was very sweet. He turned
very
to us and he said, "This is the best episode we've ever done."
Wow.
Really,
I
because
mean, truly.
there's I mean, Erin's arc in this story, and then death leading to rebirth for season 6. Her arc in that episode was amazing to watch, and although it was a very, very hard episode, I'm sure for everyone to watch, especially the Hardys.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by the grace and in their performances.
Well, I hope too that they turn now, because Erin, your character, you're playing a woman now who's alone, who's going to give birth, become a single parent.
Yeah.
What do you think we're going to see?
How's Elizabeth going to handle
How's she
this?
gonna handle
Well, I mean, I think that is true.
She's going to handle it.
I mean,
That's right.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Elizabeth, from the first moment she came to what was then Coal Valley, she wasn't even alone then. She hasn't been alone for a moment since she reached that town.
Right.
Largely due to Abigail.
Right.
Abigail first, actually. Abigail before Jack. So she's
Yeah.
always going to be surrounded by love. And this baby will be raised and celebrated in the most loving, hope-filled community. It's just, there's a very bright future ahead for Elizabeth, even without Jack.
Yeah.
And I hate to hear those words, but it's true. There is a rebirth, and it's now Hope Valley is going to really have to come together, even more so around Elizabeth.
Oh,
How do you
yes.
think?
And that's what I think. That's what the Hope Valley. That's what our show represents, and that's what it's interesting. Out of our show and that community in Hope Valley came the birth of the Hardys, and now they've formed their own community.
And I think that's what and all my experiences ever with the Hardys, they've been a community. They've always been supportive. They've always been there for the show. They've always been there for the actors. And you can't have a better fan base than the Hardys.
Oh,
And
are you kidding me?
They'll continue to.
Yeah.
The best.
Passionate.
Speaking of the Hardys, and speaking of so many great episodes from this last season, I mean, one was better than the next. They just kept getting better and better. Truly, this was the greatest season so far, in my opinion. What were some of your most memorable or favorite scenes to shoot, all of you?
Wedding.
Wedding.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Wedding was,
Really?
was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, when I came on last time and we had talked about it, as an actor, you put your heart and soul into your job, and especially working with great actors to play against. And when I got that news about my grandfather passing, that morning, that scene and that day, being with my two very, very close friends, I believe that we came up with an episode and a scene that was, it's going to go down in Hallmark TV history.
Because
Yeah.
you wrote
Right.
your lyric, or your vows.
We did, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we care about
We
it.
did, yeah. Our showrunner, Alfonso, was so gracious to let us make that small but poignant contribution to the episode.
Sure.
And Dan and I wrote our vows, and Lori wrote her reception speech, and it just felt like an extra personal touch that we could add to the episode that all of the Hardys had been waiting for.
Right.
And
such
we
a long
had been
time.
waiting for.
Right.
We had
Right.
been waiting
That's
for the
true.
wedding
Right.
too. Truly.
Yes.
Let me go down this path, guys. We talked about the great moments on camera that you shared. What about behind the scenes?
So many. Probably
What do
so
you want to
many
walk
too many
away
to
with
share.
and memorable moments?
What
that-
can we share?
Look, our
have a
memorable
lot of
moments, our memorable moments behind the camera are just starting. This is, a lifelong friendship we've developed
Right.
here.
That's true.
Right, but
That is
we've
true.
definitely had some fun along the way.
Yeah.
The
We had
on set,
fun,
these moments usually involve the cheapest, most basic vanilla cookies you've ever had in your life.
We've heard about these from Canada.
right.
The ones that you ship
continue to
here.
tell
Those
you about
cookies
them.
still.
Lori's obsessed with
I
these
know.
cookies.
President's Choice vanilla.
Right, and actually at the Hardy family reunion, the third one, every Hardy got like a little baggie of the cookies.
They're really just a cheap vanilla
should be a
cookie.
spokesperson.
I know, I really
That's
should.
so
Where's
good.
the
President's
sponsorship?
Choice needs to hire me up in Canada to do some commercials for
Oh
them.
my goodness. So, from the beginning, When Calls the Heart has always been about community, faith, and family, and it will continue to be. And as one chapter closes, it opens up a whole new possibilities. So many other new beginnings and things that will happen. What can we, the Hardys, all of us, look forward to for season 6? A baby.
Well, yes, you can look forward to a baby, and I think we do have a lot of stories to still tell. I mean, we have a lot of wonderful actors on the show, great characters to explore, storylines to explore. So I think, we'll be back to business as usual. What the Hardys love, it's community, it's uplifting, it's coming together, tell poignant stories about friendships, and of course there'll be romance, and hopefully one day Elizabeth will find love again. And look,
Too soon.
No, not too soon. No, and we're not going to do like, here's a love interest right
Not
away.
right
Like
away.
we're just gonna we're just gonna give everyone a chance to get used to the idea and just breathe with us and take the journey with us, and we hope that. They will, because, like I said, it was, if I had my druthers, it would have turned out a different way, but it is what it is. And so we made the best of the situation, and we hope that you will continue the journey with us. We do love all of our fans, and honestly, we really did take you into consideration when this storyline was crafted by our writers.
I already know the gears are turning here with our DIYers and how to assemble an early 1900s baby shower. But we'll get sketches to you. We'll get it set up. Get the invites out as soon as we can.
Awesome.
You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
for having
And
us.
this is not the last time we will see you. You
No.
will be here
Oh,
very
I have
soon,
no doubt.
Daniel.
He will
That's right.
be.
Season
adore you.
6,
Thank you,
When
guys.
Calls the Heart, will return with a rebirth early next year, 2019. Wow.